And the way it transforms the way you feel.
The whole energy in the room
has changed. Absolutely.
Yeah, you can do it sitting on the bus, coming back from work, recharge. What happens is if I'm in a state of love and I connect with this being of love, the love just intensifies. Yeah, really intensify. And people who have had near-death experiences, they don't usually regret what they did that wasn't great. They regret what they didn't do.
Namaste. You are watching I Have a Question, a series of very interesting and informative conversations that we have with some of the experts, some yogis, some passionate people, some gurus on life, its ways, and beyond. Today, I have the opportunity to bring you all Sister Maureen. Originally from Australia, Sister Maureen is heading Raj Yoga Center in Taiwan. She has been practicing Raj Yoga for 42 years now. I'm really looking forward to learning some meditation techniques from her and exploring more about life. So let's welcome Sister Maureen. Thank you so much, Sister Maureen, for talking to us and for letting us interview you.
It's so nice to be able to meet you and get this opportunity, and I really like the idea of the YouTube channel you've created.
Yes, we really aim to reach out to as many as we can. So the first question on behalf of my viewers for you is a very basic question, but I find it really tough to find an answer for. Who am I? And what is the purpose of my existence?
It's such an important question. I remember one of the people who used to practice meditation with us, well, he still does, but he was a very big businessman. And Dadi Janki said to him, she said, "How are you?" He said, "I'm stressed." She said, "I don't think you're stressed." And he thought, that's interesting because I don't really think I'm stressed, but everyone says I must be because I work so hard. She said, "You're not stressed, you're lonely because you don't know who you are. You don't know yourself. So knowing who I am is so important because we feel we need companionship, but if I don't have any relationship with my own self and I don't even know who I am, then it's very stressful actually.
Absolutely.
And the stress often comes because we go against our values. He was saying that I don't think stress comes from the work as much as compromising your values and feeling uncomfortable. That's what his experience was. And so who am I? Who am I? Well, in essence, I see myself as a spiritual being using this body to express myself on this wonderful stage of life. So that's in essence who I am. But as one of our teachings said, it's not enough to just know that you are a soul, but you also need to know which soul am I. So we need to know ourselves quite intimately because I believe we're meant to express all that's within us. And people who have had near-death experiences, they don't usually regret what they did that wasn't great. They regret what they didn't do.
Wow.
Yeah, that was really an opener for me. I thought, wow, regretting what you didn't do rather than what you did do. We're all worried about the mistakes, but we need to be very concerned about expressing ourselves, of doing what we are meant to do in this life. And for that, I need to know myself. And I wanted to add in this too. I did a little research of people who are on this path, and I said, as you've got to know yourself, did you like yourself more, or maybe you didn't like yourself because you see a lot of things there? All of them said the more they know themselves, the more they can accept themselves and love themselves.
That's relieving.
So I found that all the people, the more they knew themselves, the more they loved themselves.
But actually, it's kind of I would say awkward to ask this question to anyone else. I think the answer lies within, and it's embarrassing that I have to ask someone, who am I? But then, what I'm looking for is more of a guidance. as in how do I look within for an answer?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you think you're on the right path, and then there are times when you really feel you're lost, and and then again the question comes back, who am I? Like, what's happening? What am I doing?
I think there'll always be times when you feel lost, because I think that's a whole journey. The rediscovery, I wouldn't say discovery, but the rediscovery of who I really am.
Mm-hmm.
And what has happened is that we've put so many masks to protect ourselves. So we've got all these facades and this big thick layer sometimes of our ego. So until we start letting go of all those masks and trusting, which is a big thing to ask in this world, but we need to really strip ourselves. And if we don't strip ourselves naked, other people will. Other people will challenge us, and so we will come to know who we are, sometimes in the hard way.
Oh. Mm.
But even this whole thing of just knowing how to go within, because we did a project many years ago in Hong Kong, and we used to ask people to go inside, and many people used to say, what does that mean? Where's inside? So just that very thing of going inside and getting to know myself, because what I've also found recently, someone had a very traumatic experience, but because he had no where to go with it, no way to reflect, he even denied it happened. He kind of went, and then of course a lot of messy things in relationships, because so that's why when we know a little bit about who we are, we can go in, we can find that inner strength that is within each and every one of us, and we can find the way that is best to deal with this circumstance for myself. Because asking other people is a different thing. People will give you different directions, but really we need to know what is the best way for me.
But then how do I go about it, or how do we go about it? Is meditation an answer to it, or?
Dadi Janki put it in a very simple way. She said, when you're lost and confused, don't follow other people. Don't ask, because they'll all give you a different direction.
Correct.
You have to follow the signpost of Om Shanti, which means go within, become silent, and let your inner knowing guide you. And you do need to learn to trust that. And we haven't been in touch with it. So in the beginning, we're not sure, so if you have a kind of a spiritual mentor, or if you have people that have already been on the path, it's very good to have a conversation with them.
Sure.
Not that you're looking for help, but more, what would you do? It's kind of another perspective. So I think that's also very, very helpful. And I feel very grateful to be part of an organization that's got so many wise people around. So there's many people I can say, what do you think? And it's not so much that you're depending on others or leaning on others, but okay, this is what I think, but let me get another perspective.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're talking about Raj Yoga. I have done Raj Yoga, and it has helped me immensely in more than the ways that I can explain in words. But there is one concept which is a bit difficult for me to settle with. I would like to seek your explanation on that. The whole idea that life happens in cyclic. So this has already happened, and this is going to happen again. That's a bit difficult for me to sink in, because if this has already happened, and if this is what is going to happen again, then what's the whole point of discovery?
There's a very well-known German philosopher, Nietzsche, and he termed it eternal recurrence. You can look it up, eternal recurrence. He said, if you realize that whatever you do, you will repeat eternally, it would be the greatest ballast for the mind. Because when I heard that, I thought, because maybe I'll let myself, do something like stay depressed for a few days, but when I realized this is going to happen eternally, I mean, a few days is okay, but eternally, it's so long. So it kind of shakes you out of laziness and carelessness, I think, because if you know that this is going to repeat, why not make it the best?
Wow.
So it's really
that's
inspiring.
one perspective, I agree. But then it also, you feel that you're struggling so hard to be a better person or to reach a certain point, and then you come to know that there's always again going to be a start point to the whole thing. Then what's the point, If this is going to happen again, I might as well just chill and let things be. I mean,
we can only use the point of it's already destined for the past because we don't know the future.
true.
So we have to create that future with our thoughts.
But then if it is cyclic, then the future is written somewhere.
Yeah, but you don't know. Yeah. And my experience is in the last maybe 10 years, but I know at least since 2010, I've really had this more and more intuition as to what I'm meant to be doing.
Wow.
And so I feel I know what to do. I feel, and I do it. Like I was working on a project, I was really enjoying it, but I got this inner voice that said, time to leave. So I gave 1 year's notice. I didn't just leave, but then I, withdrew.
All right, but still, sister, I don't know, that the question still lingers, that if everything is predestined, then...
I know it's a tricky one.
Yeah, why?
It's predestined, and yet we have free will. But I find
so there is a free will?
Yeah.
Can we change?
Okay, I'll give you a very clear example. In one experience I had, I really felt I had the experience I was being pushed out.
Okay.
And sorrow came. I'm being pushed out. And then I've now learned how to change thoughts. Because that's what Raj Yoga teaches you, to be creative and to think of a different way of thinking. I've got to find another way to think because this is not feeling good. And if I keep thinking I'm pushed out, I will keep getting pushed out because I will attract that to myself. So instead I thought, no, it came, like I've got this practice now that usually I can change my thoughts. And the thought came, I'm not being pushed out, I'm being pushed up. I felt so excited. So from being pushed out, feeling sad, feeling rejected, I was feeling so excited. I thought, I'm being pushed up and what's going to happen? And I felt so excited. And sure enough, the next few days I got such an amazing opportunity to do something, this project that I worked on for 4 years, and it was wonderful. So, when we feel pushed up, we open ourselves to what can happen. But when we feel pushed out, we attract it. So, thinking about, I wouldn't just say, I'm pushed out, that's my destiny, here I go, down the road. No, I'm pushed up. What's my destiny? And it's so exciting. It was amazing, that experience. That's just one, but it's great.
I get you. Then, okay, now we just discussed about my or your individual existence. What about the existence of the universe? Why? I mean, what's going on? Why is this drama happening? What's the whole idea?
That's the one question I think there is no answer to. Why? Why does the world exist? It does. So what we are trying to do with our understanding is not to ask those kind of questions, but to accept that, okay, I'm here, it is here, so how can I make the most of it? I am alive and the world is here, so how can I make the most of my life? So I think why questions, but
this is more constructive.
What and how is more useful.
Sure, I agree. Now science says it was Big Bang Theory. What does Raj Yoga?
Yeah, well, Big Bang Theory is based on a lot of hypothesis.
Yes.
And in fact, we've got a new book. It's called Flash Time. It was 40 years in the making, and somebody's written a book about time. It's so interesting because, the things that people have been saying, scientists have been saying, they're pretty tall stories, actually. Wow. And people have just kind of, because we don't know anything else. I mean, who can prove the Big Bang?
Absolutely, yeah.
And if there is even a Big Bang, where did those gases come from? They must be eternal. Something's eternal. There can't be
Yeah.
existence without something being eternal. People say God is eternal. But if God can be eternal, if the matter can be eternal, why can't everything be eternal? So we say everything is eternal, and it's an interplay between souls, matter, and the soul beyond, who never took a part in this on the stage, always stays beyond. So it's like a touchstone. I can know who I am by connecting with that one that never changed, because I changed. So that's what yoga's about. It's about connecting with that one, not asking for peace and for love, but connecting with that one and emerging the peace that I am, the love that I am.
Wow. And that's possible?
It's an experience, yes. Yeah, I mean, because if we feel, oh God, give me love, I need love, I'm in what we call body consciousness. So I can't connect because I'm body conscious.
True.
And that being is soul conscious. There's a being beyond that never came onto this world drama stage. So by connecting with that being, I can know who I am. So if I'm thinking, oh, I need love, I'm in body consciousness.
Yeah.
Because actually I am love.
Right.
So I need to remember I am love. Let me connect with the eternal being of love and experience myself as love. So you're not asking, praying, begging, you're connecting and knowing who you are. And what happens is, if I'm in a state of love and I connect with this being of love, the love just intensifies. Yeah, really intensifies.
And then what are the tools to reaching up to that source?
First of all, I need to realize that this is my true nature, because everyone's trying to get love. That's the biggest mistake we're making. People are selling us things on the market so people will love us. If you have this beautiful sari, people will love you. You know, we're being duped in a way. Because psychology is taught to people in marketing. They study our psychology, then they work out ways to get money from us.
Yeah.
I've got to get above that system and realize that actually I don't need love, so I don't need to follow that journey. And we make so much effort to get love. I'm not saying it's easy to realize that I am love, but it's no harder than getting love. So if I'm going to make the effort, why not make the effort that is going to really be fruitful? Because trying to get love from others, you become dependent on them. They give you a beautiful look, you feel so wonderful. They don't look at you, you feel devastated. That's so
not in your
like
control.
A beggar.
So you're depending. Yeah,
it's
you're
like a
depending
beggar
on someone. I agree. But again, then what are the tools to realize that I am love and I'm...
Yeah, so when we do the meditation, we don't empty the mind, we don't watch the breath, but what we do is we create thought. Because whatever you think about, you will get a feeling. So if you think about any person, any place, whatever you think about, any color, any food, whatever you think about, you'll get a feeling. So I want to decide what I want to feel, and then I decide what thoughts I'm going to create that feeling. And so we think ourselves into the experience. And when we're in the experience, we don't need to think anymore. We don't want to think anymore. But it's a journey.
Sister, can I request you to give us a meditation?
Yeah, on this little journey.
Yes.
Go within as the first step. An easy way to go within is just to watch the breath and take your thoughts away from anything external. But then bring your thoughts to the center of the forehead, the third eye. I, the soul, am located between the eyebrows, just inside. When I focus my thought energy on this point, I feel myself centering, stabilizing, balancing. And this brings me into a state of inner power. I can now direct my thoughts wherever I choose. I can connect with the eternal being that is eternally peaceful and loving. I too am an eternal being of peace, of love. Yoga is this connection. I open myself up to the eternal source of peace and of love. Om Shanti. I am a being of peace.
That was simply amazing.
Doesn't take long, does it? Just to center the self. We can do this anytime. It really only takes a minute or two.
And the way it transforms the way you feel.
The whole energy in the room
has changed. Absolutely.
Yeah, you can do it sitting on the bus, coming back from work. Recharge.
So just you can just talk to yourself.
Yeah.
And this was amazing. Thank you so much,
Good.
Sister Maureen, for giving me this experience.
Thank
and
you.
to giving us, all of us, this experience. We're going to value it for a long, long time, and we will try to practice this as
Yes, it only takes a minute, and you can do it anywhere, anytime.
well. Noted. Well noted.
Good.
Thank you so much,
Okay,
Sister.
thank
Thanks
you.
so much. Om Shanti.